This is Popping the Bubble with hosts Sandra Ponce de Leon and Pete A. Turner.
Hi, my name is Peter Pakalski. I'm the CEO of Hyper-Personal AI, and you're listening to Popping the Bubble.
Hey, Peter. Thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have you here.
Great to be on.
Yeah, we are here recording at The Vault, which is a collaborative workspace and innovation hub based in the heart of Silicon Valley, good old San Francisco here. The Vault celebrates entrepreneurs and innovators from around the world and provides them with the right tools and support to grow better and faster. So thank you, The Vault, for having us. And Peter, you're actually a part of this space. So yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, it's great to be here, actually. I just got to the Vault about 2 weeks ago, and it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. So you are the CEO of a company called Hyper-Personal.ai.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, there's so much to even start.
Really?
Hyper-Personal AI is a company that basically, our mission is to provide personalization tools to middle market companies. So the main idea is that the ideal business is one that can basically pinpoint exactly what a customer wants and then provide that good precisely when the customer wants to buy it, by removing as many purchasing barriers as possible, right? And so we made the company after basically just a quick line of inspiration was the fact that 35% of Amazon's revenue was from their personalization tools, just like the little, like products that you want right at the bottom.
The recommendations that they give you.
Yeah, right. Like products you might like, or right when you're in the shopping cart, it's it says like you might also like, or they try to like push impulse buys. And Amazon is able to do that because they have this crazy amount of transaction data. There's like tons of users just flying at Amazon all the time. They get to analyze it. Our site basically, or our tools, looks at different types of data to allow websites to basically have that kind of technology on their sites.
Amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, we live in an age of personalization. So, so does that mean that when I arrive at a specific site, any e-commerce site, it's going to know my preferences ahead of time? Yeah,
so the ideal tool, like what we're really moving towards, is we're going to have a website that completely changes 100%. Everything from the name to the color, based completely on
name?
Yeah, anything.
What?
I mean, that's just
Dynamic
that's like an
URL
idea.
generation?
Right. Well, not the URL, but like the
Okay.
name of it.
Okay.
The title, stuff like that. Do a dynamic URL somehow. But yeah, that's kind of the that's the dream of me and my co-founder. But right now, it's mostly just product recommendations to get our feet off the ground. What really like sets us apart, like where we're able to really get, like the little edge is we do something called biometric fingerprinting. And it's really cool. It's real slick tech. Basically, we look at mouse movements. And we look at, how long a person has been on a page, how long a person has literally hovered over a certain product. We call it the attack angle, like the angle that the speed of the angle and how fast they moved their cursor directly to a certain product, indicating that they really liked that item. Then basically we find different products that are related to that item using like NLP technology, natural language processing technology, to recommend it. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. And are you in market? Would I be experiencing this right now without even knowing it, possibly?
The FBI does some biometric fingerprinting. There's some other industries that kind of do it for like authentication and threat detection purposes. But our site is live on about 6 different sites and then 4 other partnering sites. Yeah, so we're live.
What sites?
Right now, the biggest one is going to be Hypegram. There's also another one called Click Boutique, and Memory Suites are going to be some interesting ones. It's been fun. My founder is actually from Lebanon. He's super kick-ass. He's we call him our genius in residence. He built all of this tech when he was over there overseas, and I don't know if you guys know about the conflict going on over there in the Middle East. It's just it's crazy. Yeah. So while all of that was going on and just the harsh economic conditions, he was able to build this and then get some of the largest companies over there. So that's how he was able to kind of transition over to the United States.
Got it. So he'd already seen that the technology was working, it was getting traction, and he decided to come over here. How did the two of you connect?
So we connected on angel.co. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. crazy. He had no idea what he was doing when he moved over to the States. It was funny. Well, he knew what he was doing, but it was a world different to him. You know what I mean? He was used to the Middle East, and he was coming over to San Francisco, and I was actually in Chicago at the time. I was actually with another company that got into Techstars. And so I went and I did Techstars for just a tiny little bit. While I was there, Ayman was like, hey, this company that you did a little bit of work for earlier is really taken off. I'd love for you to come and work with us over in San Francisco. Yeah.
So you decided to leave the company for this
For this one, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was being an entrepreneur something that you kind of always had in the back of your mind that you wanted to do, or did you have experience being an entrepreneur before?
I did, yeah, in a few different instances. In college, I ran a little paddleboard and surfboard company with my brother Rob. That was a lot of fun. We sold a bunch of boards. We'd make them overseas in China, called Sandbox Lingo, and then we'd ship them over, sell them in like the California region to and then a lot of lake regions in the United States, in Wisconsin.
That's where you live.
Yeah.
Where you grew up.
Where I grew up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'd sell surfboards, paddleboards. It was like getting your
Cool.
own little slice of California. Yeah, that was fun. Also, when I was in college, I made this like supplement thing. You guys know the 4-hour work week stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I got into this little accelerator program, which was a lot of fun, and they they taught us how to build one of those companies. I learned a lot about online marketing. And then from there, I started working with venture capital groups, some angel investors. And I mean, yeah, so I've kind of always been in this little startup space. I like it a lot.
Wow, very, very cool. So how is it different now with this company?
It's different now because I'd say that the companies that I worked for earlier were always like entertainment focused or just like little onesie twosie one-off projects, whereas like that we always kind of thought were going to get big. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to join this company was because it's artificial intelligence. It's serious. It has the potential to really, really change things. And it felt like the right thing to go on board to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very cool. And what kind of results are the companies seeing that you guys are implementing?
Sure.
this
So
with?
we get about 22 million unique sessions a month, which is interesting. We have around 6 clients. Around 3 of those clients are actually like marketing agencies that have a larger, portfolio of customers, and they dish out our tech to all of them. Normally, our client sites actually see about like a 28% increase in conversions.
Wow.
Yeah, and like a 22% increase of time on site, which is incredible, especially for a small site trying to compete with Amazon and eBay and all of the larger e-commerce options out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
What are the factors that you're finding are resonating the most, or what are the changes that you make on a site that can have the most impact in terms of those conversion rates?
just having a recommendation engine in general is normally pretty revolutionary for a lot of smaller
Really?
sites. Just having like a product featured by, like, right now, if you go out and look at the tech that's available, the recommendation stuff is more like the CEO or the web programmer actually has to click and drag the products over and decide what products show up if another product is clicked. And so even just having something that's automated that goes through your entire product catalog and then throws things up there, really great. That's the biggest change.
And how could that translate into other types of online businesses? For example, I'm thinking for us, do we need to have on our website next recommended podcast?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
should
sure.
totally do that.
So
Would you be able to help us with that?
yeah, absolutely. So we work with content publishers as well. That's going to be like our main. Should I be looking at him?
No, you're fine.
Okay,
It's,
good. Yeah, because so I'm out of the corner.
It's
of
what I
my
like
eye
to
going
call
like
a
this.
handed, like a handed picture. It's like half candid,
He's
half
very,
not.
very
Oh,
good
okay.
about actually capturing. Like I have a hard time multitasking, which is weird.
Yeah.
Sure.
I should be better at multitasking. But
Oh, you got my bad side.
that's what always happens to me. Okay,
Yeah,
going
shoot,
back.
what was that?
So would this work for other types of websites?
Yeah, absolutely. It works great for content publishers. That's actually, so how the tech works is it can work on any kind of industry vertical, which is really interesting. Because what it does is it uses this unsupervised learning technique. Normally, I don't know, I mean, I don't want to talk too nerdy and technical
No,
here.
get nerdy.
But
like
get
it.
nerdy?
Yeah.
So I guess it won't be too bad. But supervised learning, you have to have a bunch of training data where you physically have to train a model to perform a certain kind of action. When you used unsupervised learning, it kind of just looks at all of these random data points and it automatically makes the connections on its own. So that's really where our time saver comes in, is when we use this unsupervised data. So yeah, if you're a large content publisher, you can, any type of meta description or description in general, we could then relate content to that just based off of the words alone. Just
Yeah,
based off of
I guess there
natural
are
language.
players in market that are doing that. Like Outbrain is one of these
Sure,
players.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're focused on publishing, and we really wanted to go after e-commerce at first, and the main reason being, we started going after fashion sites. That's what my business partner, was able to pick up a lot of in the Middle East, and that's main idea is that Amazon, it's harder to sell really high-end like luxury goods on fashion items on Amazon, right?
Huh.
Because those sites like to have their own branded experience. And Amazon isn't the greatest at like selecting sizes, or because it's more of like walking into a big box retailer that has a whole bunch of brands rather than a singular brand. So yeah, that's why we started focusing on them.
Are you guys still Are you guys still have a presence in the Middle East?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely been the most interesting. It's been an interesting part about business. They do things differently over there. We're partnering right now with, well, our funders are from the Middle East as well, and then we're starting a sales office over there.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Cool. And are you noticing differences in terms of the consumer behavior, or, the types of optimizations that are going to work better over there versus over here? I mean, even just in terms of, from a cultural perspective?
So I guess like the biggest difference that I've been noticing, I mean, I guess I haven't even gone into the data and really, because it's automated for every single website, right? But it would be really interesting to look at the data and find out how their purchasing behaviors and even just like their mouse movements are way different over in the Middle East than they are here in the States. We haven't done that yet. It's just, I guess, just like the regular day-to-day business of what it's like working with them, what they expect things to look like, what we expect. For example, they don't reply to emails as quick as we do in the United States, which gets a little bit frustrating.
And we're
but
a little bit absurd too. Like,
yeah.
If you don't get a response to an email in an hour, you're freaking out.
Right. You're like, what's wrong with this? Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys use like Mixmax or those type of tools, but it tells you if they've read the email yet. So you're looking like, I know you read it and you downloaded our thing. Why didn't you? Yeah, why didn't you reply back? So yeah, that's been really different. But it just turns out that people in the Middle East, they just do things differently. Not necessarily slower. They just they connect. They buy things at a different time. Yeah, just how it works.
Yeah. What's been the most interesting part of this entrepreneurial journey for you?
Oh man, the most interesting part. I've been jumping around a lot over just this last year. When I knew I wanted to get back into the innovation space, before this I was working at like a larger family company, and we sold it. I just was jumping from, I guess not jumping, but I was moving around a lot from place to place. I think I've lived in 3 hostels in the last like year for at least more than 3 weeks at a time. I lived at the weirdest one in Seattle.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even know I was moving into one. They just advertised it on Airbnb. I got into this Techstars thing. I was like, okay, well I have to find the quickest place to live out there, and it ended up being like a hippie commune.
Really?
So yeah. So I guess it's just that's what you have to do though when you're doing this startup life, is you have to be as scrappy as you can and find the best opportunity. The living situations always end up being really interesting. But no, right now San Francisco, because we're doing well, I get it's definitely better than a hippie commune hostel.
But there are those here too.
Oh yeah. No, I've been to a few of them. The Green Tortoise up here is.
Oh, Green Tortoise.
Yeah,
okay.
It's I don't know if you guys have been there, but
I've not.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
I live in a different hippie commune.
Oh, you did?
Oh, no, not really.
Oh, I mean, so I lived in that hippie commune. That was funny. I mean, I was the only one with my own room and my own bathroom, thank God. But like, I don't all the rest of them.
Yeah,
but
there's a house called Chateau Ubuntu.
Okay.
And it's got like 35 people living in it.
Here in
San Francisco, yeah. And they made a whole actually recruitment video, where it seems like everything is very happy and they're all doing lots of activities together. But I can't imagine that many people can get along that well for that long at all.
Yeah, I was amazed at the housing. Like everyone said, you're gonna come out here and you're gonna it's gonna be crazy expensive, and there's gonna be adult dorms. And I remember the first time I went to go and look at one, I was like, yeah, this is an adult dorm. There was one place that was just like a penthouse, and they just filled it with bunk beds, the entire place.
Bunk beds.
Yeah, bunk beds, and there were adults living in them. Yeah.
Wow.
For
wow.
$1,400 a month. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the things you have to do as an entrepreneur.
Sure, but it's, everyone always told me that San Francisco was going to be so expensive, and that's why I didn't make the move here. But then once you get out here, you realize how just incredible it is, that it's well worth it. It's there's no other place in the world where you're going to find this kind of human capital.
Yeah.
Everywhere. There's
Well,
so
it's
much
funny
smart
because
people.
we're here at the Vault, and we were just talking to Kevin about San Francisco being the official center or capital of Silicon Valley, and
Right.
I've pretty much grown up here, so it's kind of I don't really know any different, but from somebody that's coming from another place in the country, how has that been? Why is it so valuable to be here in San Francisco?
Oh wow.
In spite of the cost.
yeah, in spite of the cost. It's so much different than Chicago in general. Man, I read this one post the other day where, and it made so much sense, is that if you're in New York or you're in Chicago or even a place like Denver, I guess, where it's more industry or it's more run by kind of like finance companies, startups, and or anything in like this innovation sphere, innovation space, kind of feels like you're like a second class citizen.
Really?
Yeah, you're not on the topic of conversation when you go to different bars or restaurants. People are talking about what like big blue chip stocks are doing or what big companies are doing. But here in San Francisco, like, we're in the spotlight all the time. Yeah, like that's people always want to hear about your company and hear about what you're doing. You're not a second class citizen anymore in San Francisco when you're in the startup stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Good.
Yeah.
So it was a good move then for you.
It was. I'm really happy. I should have done it earlier.
And is your co-founder also here?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's here. He's it's still interesting, the difference between Lebanon and the United States are of course night and day. His biggest difference, he would say, it's much easier to fundraise, for one, for
and
him.
Have you guys gotten funds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you've cleared your seed round.
Yeah, we've gotten our seed round, and we've gotten our like Series A. I mean, no, not our Series A, like our pre-seed round. I'll call it like a devil round before the angel. And then right now we're going for the seed round, and so that's way easier. Then I guess just like little cultural differences. I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a good example. One thing was that he had trouble with just like some wording, like, because we sell to this mass market. He didn't like the fact that I was calling the product an affordable solution. He was like, affordable, like I just spent 2 years making this amazing tech that does all this crazy stuff, and
Quit calling it affordable.
Quit calling it affordable. He's like, you're making it sound cheap. Yeah, it's like, no man, that's not what it is. It's that it's affordable. It's at the right price point. It's the right value.
It's the
right value.
The weather doesn't suck out here. That's
No.
for sure.
No, yeah.
Chicago and
Seattle sucks.
Wisconsin, Seattle, that's all bad. And you can't convince, if you go to Chicago right now and say summer sucks there, they'll all say no way.
No, summer's amazing in Chicago.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Chicago is so much fun.
How many days in a row is it between 75 and 90 and not rainy and mostly sunny?
I mean, it's the whole summer. That's
4 days? 5 days? There's literally 20 of those.
How long is the summer? Is I think what you're trying to get
Yeah,
at,
it's
right?
like 20 days long.
It
It really
in
is.
Chicago?
Yeah, totally.
I guess it just feels like longer because it's so much fun there.
Yeah, it is fun. I will give you that. Street fests and all that, it's a blast. But how many times have you gone to a street fest and you're like, it's raining today? You don't care because it's summer, but you know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I really like the Midwest summers. We spent a lot of time on the lake. I couldn't stand the weather in Seattle, but it was probably because I just moved there. And I mean, but that was the thing. It's the same thing in Seattle. Everyone would say, oh yeah, the weather's bad now, but the summers are awesome. And my reply was always, the summers are awesome everywhere. That's why they're called summers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's very true.
What about the lifestyle are you having to get used to? I don't want to say you don't like it, but it's like, wow, this is going to take some adjusting.
Man, out here?
Not necessarily California, but running your own business here in the major leagues. I mean, that's where you're at, right? That's why you guys matter.
Right. You constantly have to be on the ball all the time. You always have to sound intelligent. You know what I mean? You have to, if you make one mistake, or if you're well, you can make mistakes, but if you're not always read up on like what's going on, you can easily lose someone's interest or make yourself kind of look really bad in front of an investor. So I guess that means less going out and more reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Other than that, You know, it's just right now it's just grinding. It's just late nights, sending as many emails as we can, getting in front of as many people as we can, and then making sure that we impress them the right way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting your customers?
So right now it's through direct channels, really until we find product market fit. Mm-hmm. Doing email marketing we found to be the most successful. I mean, that was a big thing I think that they pushed at Techstars, is that SEO and PPC just being dead. You don't get a return on it in or AdWords in general. You just don't see a return on it in another close to 65 to 365 days. It just isn't worth a startup's time. So it's so much more efficient to call up people, so much more efficient to use email, writing the right copy, and also partnering with agencies is huge. Getting in front of an agency, a marketing agency that already sells to our clientele, and then basically saying like, why don't you just, we'll give you some either equity or commission, and you can basically pass this along to your clients. Yeah, that's been the best.
Very cool. So what's next for the company hyperpersonal.ai?
So what's next?
Do you call it hyperpersonal, or do you actually put the AI at the end of it?
I like saying the AI just because, I don't know, we'll see if when artificial intelligence, that buzzword, has really like run its course, right? Which might be coming up pretty soon, but I'm still putting the AI at the end of it when I say it. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit more on product development, a little bit more on growing our team. We're very close to closing this final capital injection. We have some really, really interested investors. It's, the final paperwork's kind of just getting tossed around. So that's really exciting. And once we kind of get that round of funding, then it's just, building out some more personalization solutions, probably focusing a little bit more on email and dynamic pricing, and then moving more into...
Email is part of your product suite.
Yeah, email is the part of the product suite. So like retargeting if someone comes on our site. Yeah, or personalizing emails so that, you can collect a bunch of data from a user, and you can find out what stuff they were just looking at or what things they were hovering over, and then actually send out an email the second that they leave that site saying that you can get a discount on those items. We've also thought of like, if you are on mobile and you just the second you start to scroll up from a product that you don't like anymore and you wanted to look at back, or you wanted to click home on the website, then we can send you an email right then and there because we track that biometric data that gives you a coupon. So
interesting.
Yeah, there's a few different avenues that we want to go into, but right now it's just getting the team. I think is probably the funnest part, interviewing the right people, just because everyone wants to work at a fun startup. You get a great selection. So.
Yeah, very cool. I was wondering because what you were talking about the personalization and do you run into any issues with that? Because I imagine you're probably taking some, if you install a Facebook pixel on the site, you're going to get a lot of information from Facebook. We know Facebook is collecting a shit ton of information. I mean, there is sort of this uprising from a consumer perspective, and like, hey, this is my data, it's my data. I don't want it sold to other companies for their profit and not for my use. Like, do you feel like there's any kind of pushback or blowback from this hyper personalization model that you're going after, or do you anticipate any of that?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think that the privacy issue is huge right now. It's a hot topic in the news, and people are really worried about what kind of what the future is really going to be, and I think it's definitely going to be a focus of a lot of investment dollars in this next 2 years. In the next year, I'd say. Our answer is always that we took security as being a number one priority, security and privacy. We don't attach any of your data to a name. We haven't yet attached it to an email. We're still trying to figure out if that's something that our customers want. But I think that just the important thing is just to understand that we're out there to try to find products that our customers like. I mean, that's what our solution does. It's not that we're releasing any kind of information or there's anything malicious about the information that we're collecting and the connections that we're making. So.
And you're finding that consumers are finding it a positive.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think, just the given fact that 35% of Amazon's revenue, 75% of what people watch on Netflix is because of what was recommended to them. I mean, people actually don't. It's the opposite. If they don't have recommendation engines, they're going to go to a website that does because it's easy for them to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it Is this just a growing pain? Like, we all know that Facebook was gathering stuff, but Amazon gathers even more. I mean, these things all can listen.
Sure.
Is this something that we just slowly are going to accept? And like younger folks, like, heck, I'm old as heck, but you're a younger person. Like, is this just a normal part of your life to be able to have these things used in that way?
I think so. I think that just because we always grew up with just being comfortable giving away data, and because the generation above us was so paranoid about keeping it really secretive and not releasing too much of it, and keeping the data collection behind closed doors. I think that's really been the reason why it's been able to proliferate. I don't know. I mean, it's amazing to me that people got so bent out of shape about this Facebook thing, because that's what Facebook does. Like, right. Facebook collects data.
It's not just Facebook. Like, literally, Amazon has got Alexa in every part of your house listening.
Yeah,
all the time.
Exactly, all the time. Well, they don't send back data until you say Alexa, whatever.
Oh, for sure. That never. Nothing ever.
I'm sure they don't. Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, we've used phones to spy ever since there were phones. So yeah, I know that there's nothing being collected, but yeah, if it's valuable. If our data has value, which it does because we get crazy when we lose it, then it's going to be marketed.
Yeah. Information is power. I think so. I mean, this Facebook thing, first off, because there's a political angle to it, and that's why it hit the news. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's not like Facebook's free. If you go on it and you release information, you're telling them exactly what you like in a way that they can target you. So
very, very true. I think I think everyone, just the whole American public, just came to the realization or finally understood that they're the product.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And I guess they finally saw what you can do with data. I mean, they saw exactly what can happen when you give data to someone else. They're able to garner a lot of influence.
And the beauty of AI.
Yeah. Yeah, AI.
Personalization.
It can be used in both good and bad ways, I suppose.
For bad too. Yes,
right.
Yes. Personal AI is definitely using it for good.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely, just to recommend products.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Peter. Is there anything we didn't get a chance to cover with you that you maybe wanted to chat about?
No, I think that's it. I think we kind of covered everything. Did I answer all the questions you guys wanted?
You did, yeah. Okay. How can people find out more about hyperpersonalization.ai?
Yeah,
hyperpersonal.ai.
Hyperpersonal.ai. Yeah, check us out online. We have some social media accounts too, but hyperpersonal.ai is going to be the best way to find out more info.
Okay, awesome.
Oh yeah, currently 30-day free trial. We're normally seeking companies with that have more than 50 products on their website. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks to the Vault for having us as well. So, great conversation.
Yeah.